Hi all. I haven't done a video in a while. I'm going to try and get back in the swing of things here. Had a few health things here and there, but we're all back and ready to go. Alright, so today we're going to talk about vapor blaster gloves. Now I know a lot of you have watched my video on converting the Harbor Freight cabinet into a vapor blaster. And back when I did that video, the gloves that came with a Harbor Freight cabinet were these rubber gloves. The back end's cut off right now, but because they wore out. But these were decent gloves to use for vapor blasting. Well, Harbor Freight discontinued them. And the new gloves that Harbor Freight has are these. And the problem is that they're great for sandblasting, but vapor blasting, they're stitched, so they leak. Now some guys have taken Flex Seal and sprayed all the seams and everything, but it doesn't last long. They said the gloves tend to get stiff. You know, you can find these on Amazon or eBay for like between 12 and 15 bucks, other than the $35 Harbor Freight wants to charge. But it's not a viable option for vapor blasting. Now, the next problem is that the gloves have to be at least 7 inches, 7¼ inches in diameter to fit on to the Harbor Freight glove rings. So where does that leave you when you're looking for vapor blasting gloves? You can find some of these online, but lately, the only ones I found online, people want $29, $39, $49 for these. But, you know, your other option is these were very expensive gloves that were claimed, you know, oil and gas resistant, heavy duty, and they, within a year, they started drying out, tearing, the fingers started just giving way, so not worth it. So I started doing some research because I wanted to find the Harbor Freight gloves. And here's what I found. What I found was I got these off of Temu for $5.95. They're the Harbor Freight glove in blue. Okay? But they don't go to 7¼ inch. And that was the problem I was having. Because for under $6, this is a steal for these gloves, considering Harbor Freight used to get $29.95. They're the same. They have a rubber sleeve that's all heat seamed so it doesn't leak. They're thin enough that when the glove is on, you can deal with small parts in your hand. They were my favorite vapor blasting gloves. So once I found these, I also found these other gloves called pond gloves. And if you search online and you do pond gloves, aquarium gloves, these are off Amazon for $9.95. Again, same as the Harbor Freight glove, only these have a elastic band at the end. So they're both great options, but again, they don't fit over the 7¼ inch glove ring. So what I did was I had some adapters made. Okay, and what these adapters do is they slide right over the 7¼ inch glove ring in the Harbor Freight, and it adapts it to the size of all these gloves. These fit on easily. They fit on really easy, but even your the ones with the elastic bands, they fit right over it. So the other thing that I noticed the other day is that Harbor Freight now carries these hardy utility gloves, which are basically even a little bit heavier duty version than the ones that I've been getting on Amazon or Temu or AliExpress. Temu and AliExpress, you can find them for $6 under. Most are about $7.50, but you can find them for $6 and under. These are a little stronger, a little longer, and they're sold by Harbor Freight now for $8.99, and they call them utility gloves. 26-inch cuff. For $8.99, they will also fit on these adapters and go right into your Harbor Freight cabinet. So the biggest thing I can say is the fact that they're thinner and you can do small parts while you're vapor blasting, especially all those tiny carburetor parts. Big difference. So I've made a whole bunch of these, and I will put a link in my video description to my eBay listing form if you want to buy a set, but it'll let you into a world of gloves that actually work well, are easy to use, and are cheap to replace. So that's all I have to say for today. I'm going to pause the video now, and I'm going to go over to the first Venom Blaster cabinet I made, the Vapor Blaster, and I'll show you the Harbor Freight gloves in their working. Oh, one more thing about the Harbor Freight gloves. They have a little hole here. And what that hole is for is, if you put these things on your arms, you're supposed to like put a string through it across your back so they don't fall down while they're on your arm. Well, of course, water would get in through that. These are the same idea, but these have this loop at the end that you put a string through, no hole. So these would work just the way they are. If you want to use the Harbor Freight ones, what I did was I just took a piece of this vinyl tape and I put it inside the glove behind this hole, and then I just took a little hot glue gun and I just spiraled hot glue into the hole and above on top of the edge, and then I let it dry for about 5 minutes until it was hard, and then I just peeled the piece of tape off from the back, and it was a solid plug. I'll show them to you in the cabinet. I've been using them and they're great. Little long compared to these. These are still my preference. These, especially these from Amazon for $9.97. I'll give you guys the links, and like I said, I'll give you the link to the eBay where I'm selling those adapters so that you can get onto this. And I'll take you over to the cabinet now. We'll be right back. You watched my tutorial on building the Vapor Blaster out of the Harbor Freight cabinet. So here's the glove adapters in the Harbor Freight cabinet right here. So they just slide on. I have clamps on this side. These are the Harbor Freight gloves that I was talking about that are $8.99. They're really nice gloves. And then what I did was, of course I didn't have any black, so I used white silicone and I just gave it that bead, and then I shoved them on, let it dry, put the gloves on, and now I can use the pond gloves or whatever they want to call them. Some are called car washing gloves, depends on where you search for them. But great addition to this cabinet, being able to use those gloves. Alright, and you can find the eBay link to purchase these adapters in the description, and I'll see you again soon. I had taken you guys over to see the cabinet, and now it's the next day. And as you can see, there's a big empty space in my garage. What's going on is I just sold the first Vapor Blast cabinet. I need to make a bigger cabinet. I need to do bigger parts. It just, you know, I put a automotive cylinder head in there, and it was just too much trying to move it around. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek at the next video that's coming. This will be Venom Blaster 2. And this is going to be a giant Vapor Blaster. I'm getting the platform for it done right now. And I will give you guys all the parts and descriptions, where to get stuff, and I will do videos on building it. And that's a sneak peek. That video will be coming soon. This is going to be a great Vapor Blaster. So I'll see you soon.